Have you ever had a near-death experience? Or perhaps someone you know may have had a near-death experience? Well, if so, we would love to hear your story and have you as a guest on our podcast. For more information, visit NDE.world. Again, that's NDE.world. We would love to hear your story.
Welcome to the NDE World Podcast, where we explore the magical, mystical, and spiritual world of near-death experiences. And now, Ashton Lewis and Daphne Lynn.
Okay, welcome back to the NDE World Podcast. I am your host, Ashton Lewis, and my lovely assistant co-host, Miss Daphne Lynn. Good morning, Daphne. How are you doing?
I am doing absolutely wonderful. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm well. Doing well, baby. Thank you so much for asking. And I figured we can maybe throw together a little cocoa chat. Little cocoa chat.
Little cocoa chat
NDE
series?
cocoa chat, yeah.
Sure. That sounds good this
We'll go ahead
morning.
and maybe do some more reviews of some actual NDE experiences for the listeners. Kind of break down those elements like we do. And I figured we maybe come in here and do something like that this morning. How's that sound?
That sounds good. You know, I really love listening to these stories. I mean, there's just, and I say this over and over again, I'm not going to sound like a broken record, but there's so much we can take away from these and apply into our own lives. I mean, really listen with an open mind and just take what resonates and let go of what doesn't, you know, and then process, meditate on it, think about it, how you can benefit from these.
Exactly. And it's amazing that there are so many common elements, but they are usually symbolized different. You know, they use different symbols and things like that, but those elements are still there. For example, you know, the OBE, the out-of-body experience, is what really kicks it off into the actual other world experience.
Oh yeah, it's pretty. It's very, not to say pretty interesting. It's very interesting to me, just to how we can apply all this in our daily lives. How, you know, what we can benefit from. Yeah.
And what makes me really lean more towards believing more into it, because a lot of people, you know, you do have your skeptics out there, and me, anytime I get into something, I typically start from the skeptical
side. Yeah, me too.
You know, I'm like, let me go in here and I try to find all the issues with it and the loopholes, anything like that.
Break it down, yeah.
Yeah.
Dissect it.
Yeah, and that's what I actually done with the actual near-death experience stuff. So.
Oh yeah, flat Earth stuff, and I mean, you name it, anything that I have really gotten into, if it was controversial, I tried to break it down best I could, and look, now I have a whole different belief system on many different things.
Well, anyway. Yeah, Earth is definitely flat. Earth is definitely level, should I say. Yeah, I got into that years ago, and of course, when I first got into flat Earth, I thought that these people was the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. It was the time when Trump was running for president, and I just got in, and all I heard was the flat earthers and the flat earth movement. I'm like, dear God, these people must be on some kind of narcotics or drugs or something, you know. Flat earth, I mean, Earth is a ball.
Actually, it was when Obama was in office.
Well, that's when they started. No, that's when it started coming out, being more publicized. But I'm talking when I actually got into it myself. Yeah, was when Trump, because I was writing the song "Simply Pimpin'."
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, and I met the guy John down at the bottom of the park where I was right there, and that's when I first was introduced to it. And Trump just got elected. All he wanted to do was talk about Trump.
Oh, okay.
And I was fascinated with flat Earth. I'm like, this is kind of weird. This Earth stuff, you know, that's more fascinating to me than the damn, you know, somebody running for president. Ain't nobody gonna. Well, I'm not even gonna get on the president discussion.
Don't
Leave it where it's
go
at.
there.
Do not.
Religion and politics. Religion and politics.
I won't do that. I love all people, and I think all of us are going to be responsible for both the good and the bad in our lives. We both are responsible for that already.
Yeah, it's our choice, free will.
Responsible for both the good and the bad that we do. And, you know, the more you learn about this kind of stuff, the more you realize how you carry this stuff over with you.
Exactly. And that's why we have to have the purge.
Yeah, you've got to be purged.
Yeah. Right, right. And that kind of makes me think about like the people who are channeling actual communication with the other side, that spirit
Right.
conscious
There's a lot of
side,
that going on as well.
channels and medium. I mean, they are out there that are fake. They are out there that really do have that communication with the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. The mind could be producing these chemicals. You're getting everything shut off to the brain. It could be going off. I mean, there is that possibility. Okay. However, let me put the disclaimer in there. The however, and I get this from Dr. Jeffrey as well. What about when somebody has an OBE, an out of body experience, okay? And they can see everything going on in the room. They can describe seeing somebody down the hall, their husband was over here doing this, or the mother was over there doing that, or the mate was doing that, or
Miles
whoever.
away. I mean, yeah.
What if they were like miles away? There's stories where people has done that. There's
Exactly.
a story. In fact, I remember you had quoted it on a previous podcast about this lady had an out of body experience, and she went up the hospital floor levels, went up to the top of the building and found some shoes.
A blue shoe.
A blue
and-
shoe stuck in the gutter or something that somebody
Yeah.
might have thrown up there or something.
Yeah.
And so that when they asked her that, they thought she was crazy, just like a lot of doctors do. They think people, well, you're crazy. But the truth is, they went up there and they checked it out. Sure enough, they found a blue shoe in the gutter. So that tells me
Conscious
it's
level.
something beyond more than just hallucinating or something that's going on in the head. Because you are coming
Exactly.
out of the body. You are having now these astral projection, out of body stuff. This is very real, And so, is it part of the afterlife? I hope so.
Yeah.
These NDEs, because it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's bliss. It's beautiful, and I hope. And I think it would be awesome that every single one of us can be able to experience that and get back to our source and
Yeah.
be who we really are.
And I have really known about NDEs for many, many years. I don't even remember how old I was, but anyway, the movie Heaven is Real came out years and years ago, and I can remember I was a J-dub at the time, and I broke that thing down. I'm like, nah, that's not real. That's not real. Just the J-dub religious mindset of everything.
Yeah.
But years later, after coming out of that, and now it's like these events are really happening. There is existence on the other side that religions are not teaching. Religions have changed what the beliefs were at one time.
I think people are waking up to religion. You have to be careful
I
with
know,
organized religion,
yeah.
okay? Because they are programmed to teach a certain doctrine. They sit there and somebody has to tell them, pound it into their head over and over and over and over and over until it becomes part of their belief system, and then it becomes part of their identity. Once it's part of your identity, it's hard to deal with a person.
Oh yeah, I mean, even think about the founder of the Catholic Church of Christianity. Nowadays there's 53 miles of information in books underneath the Vatican that's under lockdown that only select people get to go and view.
Yeah, we've talked about that. Yeah, I don't know exactly how many, but I know there's a lot. I've heard 80 miles. I've heard 50 miles.
Yeah.
I've heard, but the point is, why do they, I mean, just think of having a mile of books. Just think about that. Having, because you know how far a mile is. If you just take from where you're at here and say a mile down the road, for example, or wherever you're at, whoever's listening, figure a mile from where you're at. 1 mile of books.
Yeah.
How many books can you get in a mile?
Right.
Okay, now you're talking about not 1 mile, not 2, 3, 4,
Not
5, 10, 20, 30,
Yeah.
40. If it's 50 plus, then dear God,
The
they have
knowledge
all of
that's
the
there.
modern history that has been redone and covered up, and everything, from what I understand, belongs there. Even the creation of
Exactly.
Jesus that we know.
That belongs to the world, not to them. I mean, it makes me think of the movie National Treasure. where they find the treasure. And he said, "This is for the
Belongs to the
world.
people,
It
yeah.
belongs to the people, not to one person." So that's what that should be today. I mean, don't get me going on the governments and
Religion
people
and things like
controlling
that,
stuff. Yeah, that just makes my spirit rise up in a bad way, and I don't want that to happen. So I try not to think about it. Keep
Well,
things as positive as I
let's keep
can.
it. Yeah, we'll keep it like that. I don't want to get too far because I mean we can come in here and do a whole probably 100 episodes easy off the top of my head with religion.
Oh God, yeah.
You know,
Oh,
I've been studying. I've been a part of it all my life. I've studied it. I've written books about it. You know, I understand it, and I'm also very into the esoteric, you know, teachings and things like that. And once I started going more the esoteric, I just totally almost I don't want to say lost interest in Orthodox religion,
Oh yeah.
but I started seeing through it. I started seeing through the deception. I started seeing through the lies, you know, everything that has been
Your
created
spiritual eye was
has been
awakened and
opened.
open,
It's
and
open,
you
yeah.
could see it.
And I see through that so much. It's very clear when you
Oh,
see
yeah.
what's going on with religion.
Once
So
your eyes open, that spiritual eye, you can't close it.
you can't.
Then you start noticing more and more things, and that's source spirit, the essence of the divinity of God, letting you know that something's wrong in something. So it opens your mind and eyes and heart to truth.
Absolutely. And that's what I love about the NDEs. And like I said earlier, I hope they are a reflection of the afterlife, what we
Oh
call the
yes.
afterlife. And I'm also at the point in my life now, I don't really even believe in the afterlife. I believe that life is life. It's one life. You know, you
Life near
transition.
life experience.
Yeah, near life experiences. There you
Yeah,
go.
near life
But you know,
experience,
life
yeah.
goes on, and you transition. You change over to another form. You know, if it's spirit, it's spirit. If you can take on another body, it's a body. I mean, but I think I'm believing now that it just goes on and on and on and on and on,
Yes.
and that you have been here for a long time, and you will be here forever.
This is just a vessel in which you
The vessel's got
are
to go back
in.
to the ground. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matter does have to go back to matter. Matter does break down, but spirit cannot be broken down. It goes forever. Mm-hmm. Something to think about. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, good deal. Well, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead now. Looking at the time here, let's go ahead and start. We are going to go ahead and throw in our clip of the day, and we might try to get a couple of clips in, but I'll probably get one today for sure, and we'll break it down and kind of see how we are with time. And, you know, if time permits, then we will go ahead and pick up with it.
Another.
Yeah, we'll do another one as well. If not, we'll throw it on another podcast.
That's right.
Very good. Okay, well, are you ready to go ahead and do our first morning review?
Most definitely.
Well, I am too, so why don't we get to rolling?
At age 8, my father took me and my two brothers, ages 10 and 11, to go fishing in a river called Rio Guaiba in Porto Alegre, Brazil. It was a hot day and very sunny. When we got there, my father was setting up camp when we asked him if we could walk upriver a little bit. At first, he said no, but after we begged a little bit he agreed, but told us not to go in the water. He said that a few times. We started to walk near the water and we got to a bush that was half in the land and half on the water. I don't remember which one of us had the idea to go in the water grabbing the bush to get to the other side. My brother Marco, age 10, went first. He took a few steps and I don't remember well how he lost his footing, but he did. He went under. Then my older brother Carlin tried to help him and went under. I don't know why, but I went after them. Note, we didn't know how to swim. I stared to panic. I was really scared. I remember trying to breathe, but I couldn't. Water was going in instead. There was no more oxygen. I remember moving my arms and legs frantically trying to save my life. I remember my body hitting things underwater. I don't know what was hitting me, but it was painful. That day the river was moving fast from west to east towards the ocean. I don't know how much time went by, but I couldn't move anymore. I remember just floating underwater and I hit the bottom. The water was brown and I couldn't see anything. I knew I was dying and I screamed, "Please God, help me." My mom used to take me to church. I don't know how, but I knew that God was the only one that could help me. That was when I felt my life fading. Then I heard the most pleasing voice telling me to relax and that everything was going to be okay. I then felt arms embracing me. I knew it was a man and he was very kind and gentle. I was so happy and confused at the same time. We were floating in midair. I then realized that I was not dead, not yet anyway. I sensed we were going up very fast. All my pains were gone and I could breathe again. My body was not solid anymore. I could see right through it, but I could feel me. Then I saw that we going towards this light, slowly at first. When we got close to the light just engulfed me. It was brighter than the sun but didn't hurt my eyes. The angel that was with me said bye and faded away. I was floating there for a moment thinking, what's happening? I felt connected to everything and that everything was connected to me. Hard to explain. Then I felt I was not alone anymore. I could see the shape of a man coming closer. When he got close enough, I felt the most beautiful feeling of love and belonging. There are no words my human mind can say to describe these feelings, sorry. Imagine yourself in an airplane and the airplane blows up. Then you wake up just a dream. Kind of like that. I was so happy I wasn't dead for real, but where am I? That place felt more real than this one. This angel, I call them angels, came closer to my right side and spoke to me, but his lips were not moving. He was talking to my mind. I could hear him through mind, being, and my soul. He told me he was there to help me with my questions, and boy did I have questions, but first he started to show me my life like a movie, hard to explain. My life was going backwards. I remember thinking, how bad can this be? I'm only 8 years old. The first image I saw was something bad that I did. I used a key to scratch a car. I could feel the pain that I caused because of my actions. Then I remember thinking, oh no, I'm in trouble. My angel surprised me by saying, don't worry, these are just lessons. I remember thinking, oh crap, he can read my mind too. He heard that too and gave me this lovely, beautiful smile. This movie was showing, second by second, my entire life. Everything I saw, I could feel the results of it. I also realized for the first time how beautiful and fragile Earth really is. I could sense the Earth breathing like it was alive. I could see a light around everything that was alive: trees, flowers, grass, animals, volcanoes, and humans. I sensed that humans were in control over other living things. I have the word aura stamped in my mind ever since. Don't know why, but the angel told me not to tell anyone, and that time will reveal it itself. I said, what? But then I felt a jolt in my soul, a feeling that I was back in my body. Next thing I know, I was being held by another angel. He was pushing me out of the water. It was then that I realized that I was human again. Oh my God, what a feeling! I wish I could make everyone feel that feeling. Then I felt like I was drunk. The first thing I saw was this beautiful blue sky and I could breathe again. Then I realized, where my brothers? I looked to my right and there they were, walking out of the water with me. Oh my God! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! I have tear in my eyes thinking about it. Our God and Father is so good to us. Then I saw people rushing towards us. Some were crying, some were smiling and hugging each other. They felt as happy as I did. Why? Then this police officer was talking on his radio. He said, I found them, I found the kids. He told the others to come up river. The other officers were looking for us down river where they thought we were. After a couple of minutes, they got there and said, this can't be them. They couldn't survive 22 minutes underwater and talk about it. The medical personnel that was there agreed with them, and they all went back downriver. I was trying to tell what happened, but I couldn't speak. I mean, my mouth was moving, but no sound. I looked up in the sky and said, "Please give me my voice back. I won't tell anyone." I got my voice back.
Okay, and we are back. Wow, what a story.
Wow, yeah.
It really moves me. I mean, I don't like hearing these kind of stories from anybody having to go through anything.
The traumas.
The trauma part of it, yeah. And especially when you hear stuff of little ones,
Yeah.
little kids, it just really moves me. And especially the really, really little ones, but for anybody, old, young,
Life is life.
life is life, yeah. But this little guy here, apparently, his little brothers fell in.
His big brothers.
Or big brothers, his brothers fell in, and he jumped in after him, right? Or did he
They
fall
were
in
all
after
going
him? Or
in
they were all going
around a bush, holding on to a bush, and they all
All
fell
in.
into the
Oh, okay.
water.
Okay, so they went into the water, ended up in the water, and long story short, he ended up drowning.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting when he went into the water, he said he could feel things hitting him under the water, and he didn't know what that was.
Probably could be logs, could be anything. If he was in a
the
river and it was
spiritual.
tossing him, it wasn't necessarily spiritual either. We wouldn't really, hadn't
Yeah.
got to that part yet. So this thing's he said it hurt. It could be anything. If he's
Right.
getting tossed about in a river in a undercurrent, then
Well,
God only knows.
his first thought after those things hitting him was, "Please God help me." So that reminded me almost of like a distressing NDE, going through the darkness and the void, because he said it was really dark and he couldn't tell what was hitting him and stuff. So I thought it might have been that. But
Yeah, no, but he's still rolling right here. He's still in the guy hadn't come yet, so he's still, he was drowning. He knew he was drowning, and then he finally hit the bottom.
Okay.
But that was during that journey before he even hit the bottom and started to realize he was drowning and saying, "Oh God, help me." So yeah, it was just probably. It can be rocks, it can be boulders, it can be I don't know what the river bottom is, but that's my first. That would be my first. I don't want to say guess, but my first instinct would say he was probably just hitting stuff if he was getting thrown about, But that's irrelevant. The point is the guy
Right.
had this experience. Now, when he did say, "Please help me, God, please help me," then remember the voice, relax. It's going to be okay.
And he felt the arms embrace him.
Yeah, of an
And he was-
angel, he says. It said it felt like a man's arms, but he goes on to describe it as being an actual angel. Now, he felt the arms, like a man's arms around him, and pulled him up, and next thing you know, it's like they're floating,
Yeah.
right? So that would be the actual OBE kicking in right there, I would say, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. And he said instantly he noticed the pain was gone. He looked down and saw his body, but it was an invisible body. He realized he
Right.
can see through his arms and everything, okay? The light just engulfed him.
Yep.
And I like the floating connected to everything, everything connected to him. I mean, we see that and hear that a lot, practically everyone of that connection
Yeah,
to everything.
that connection and just the love and belonging sense that he felt as well. And his first thought was like, "Where am I?" And he said they were talking to his mind as being his soul. So that
back
telepathic
to-
communication.
Yes, that's what I got here. An angel was telepathic. Man, beautiful love and feelings. It said that place felt more real than here.
Yes.
You hear that very, very often.
Uh-huh.
That feels like home. That feels like where I need to be. This doesn't feel like it.
Right, right.
So he even mentioned it in his. And like you said, the communication was done telepathically.
Oh, yeah.
And that's something we can probably pretty much bet on.
Yep.
There's a lot of these things that take place that you can bet on that we're all going to have to go through. And then it jumps over into the life review.
Exactly, yeah.
Any comments on that?
Yeah, he was 8 years old. I mean, imagine, you wouldn't think you could do a whole lot of bad in that amount of time, but apparently
Right.
he had done a few things that he was like,
And if you think about
Not
it, to go
happy about.
let's really just break that down. I mean, really, really think about it, okay? And like you said, he was just a little kid, okay, a little child. And it's not a whole lot of bad they can do when you compare to someone like our age, you know, that's been around.
Exactly,
You
yeah.
know. But the point is, he said he key scratched a car. A simple act as just taking the key and scratching someone's car brought him so much pain because he felt the pain of the people who the car belongs to. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And he didn't realize. So never underestimate the very little things that you do in life, both good and bad. 'Cause
Exactly.
the little things matter.
Yeah, and the angel said it's just lessons.
I know.
It's just lessons.
He said, "Don't worry," because he can read his mind, and he realized the angel can read his mind.
Yeah, and the angel laughed.
You know, he
The
felt,
humor side of the spiritual, the laughter, the spiritual laughter that they have over there is so common.
Oh God, 'cause just imagine being around people like that, lighthearted, laughing all the time.
I try to
Do you know how
that now.
Yes. Well, that's one of the things I love about you. You've always been lighthearted and got that laughter, and you know, you
Thank
just
you. You
fruitcake
as well.
from way back. No. Thank you, baby. But I love to be around people who are lighthearted. You
Me
know,
too.
I don't want to be around the drama. I don't want to be around the negativity. I don't want to be around this one putting that one down, this one putting that one down, and this one putting that one down. And you know, I don't, you know, I don't want to be around it because I understand the seriousness of vibration and energies and people's
Exactly.
energies, and you can pick up people's energies. How's that?
Lay with the dogs, you're gonna get fleas
yeah,
on
you're
you.
gonna get fleas. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
There's all kinds of little
whatever kind of
metaphors for
little,
that.
yeah. So, but anyway, so back to the story here. So something as small as like taking a key and scratching
Yeah.
a car, you know, and it broke his heart because he said I felt the pain.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh God," but, and think about this as a little kid. Oh no, I'm in trouble now. I'm going to get in trouble. You know, and that's made the angel laugh. He just laughed. He says, "Don't
and he
worry."
read his mind.
Yeah, he just laughed. He said, "Don't worry. It's just lessons."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he read his mind.
Yeah.
So I also love the part how he noticed and he looked and he saw the earth breathing.
Yes, everything that has life
Everything
on Earth
that has life.
had like a glow to it.
Yeah. The energy of
Yeah.
everything, yeah. And Mother
and-
Earth is alive and she is breathing. People just don't think about that.
From volcanoes and I mean all the animals, humans. That is amazing. That he saw a life force, that spiritual aura of it, and that was the word that stuck in his mind. That they were telling him not to talk about yet because it would come out later. So, but aura, that is our spiritual surrounding us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your energy, yeah. Your
that
aura.
spiritual
Auras are
energy,
very
yeah.
real. You can, they've got the actual
Kirlian,
yeah, the
yeah.
Kirlian photography. I was into that years ago.
Yes, I would love to have mine done.
Yeah, it's really cool, but it just changes with you. I mean, it's not like you are this particular color.
Right, it
Your
changes
aura
with your
changes
energy
colors.
and
It
your
does.
your mood and everything. Yeah.
Yes, and actually they reflect your different energies. You know, one may have more of a different color. Say like anger, you may have more of a red aura. You know, or love, more of a red
A
aura.
dark aura.
You know, you want more of a white, more of a pure. You know, that's what you want, or a rainbow. You know, you can have
Rainbows where you're
that are
supposed to have
beautiful. Yeah,
everything
everything's more
balanced.
kinda- yeah.
Yeah.
However, people are different colors. Some just green or just blue or even dark. There is the dark auras around us. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's a good way to check your energy out and see where you're at with things and
Oh, most
get a
definitely.
good cleansing. So anyway, that's the auras and the Kirlian photography. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's very interesting,
It
yeah.
is. Next thing you know, this angel is actually pushing him out of the water. So I thought that was interesting because he came back into the body. He realized he was in the body, but he's not in that OBE world anymore where the spirit and hanging out with the angels is. He's actually a physical human being in the water, and the angel is pushing him out of the water.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
I think it's that probably his guardian angel, because we all have guardian angels. But that assistance from the spiritual side that preserved that life. So he was helping him out because he couldn't swim. He was a young child.
Yeah.
But he was looking around immediately for his brothers, and he saw them, and his first thoughts and first words, thank you,
Thank you.
thank you. That gratitude that his brothers were there as well.
Yeah, and that gratitude is also goes in your record as well.
The Akashic records, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
as a something that you should have done. Anytime anybody does anything for you, or anybody does something for you, or gives something to you, or anything, you know, you should always show gratitude.
Oh, most definitely, yes.
Gratitude is always it's one of the key elements. It's up there with love and forgiveness. Gratitude is that important.
Right, it is.
To be
It
grateful
really
for the
is.
things that you have.
Most definitely.
Okay.
I try to practice that daily.
Yes, that's
Yes,
good.
most
That's good for
definitely.
all. Absolutely, I agree with you.
Yeah. Now, one thing, after he was back on the land and everything, the policemen were around. And now I was a little confused. I don't know if all of them were underwater for 22 minutes that nobody could live, was what the police officer said, that long underwater. So I don't know if it was just him or all of his brothers. That was a little
They were
confusing
all-
for
okay,
me.
Yeah, I wasn't really clear on that. I got you. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it did say that they didn't believe it. That someone they said, "We found the kids. We found them." They looked at them, and that's not them because they couldn't have lived.
22 minutes.
Yeah, 22 minutes. They were looking for dead people, bodies.
And, I mean, really think about the scientific side of this. We know just a couple of minutes without oxygen to the brain, you get brain damage. And I've been reading in different books about how these people who have these experiences, no matter how long of a time, they come back with no brain damage. None.
It's a protection.
It is, yes.
I want the body that shuts down and then starts to project all these little beautiful little memories and things in the theater of the mind. I mean, we just don't know. But then again, you go back to the OBE where they're floating to the top of the building and
Exactly.
finding
The
the blue
body
tennis
is
shoe.
the body is preserved because its purpose here is not finished.
Yeah.
So they have to have their body preserved. Whether it's mangled in an accident or something, they still have to go back to that body and go through whatever they have to go through
Yeah.
rehab to get back to a normal life. Some people don't. But that vessel has to be preserved. And most of the time, the brain has to be part of that.
Yeah, very good. That's a very good point. Something to really think about. Well, friends, it looks like it's time to go ahead and wrap this episode up. We got to keep everything within production time limits there, and
And it's always so fun and enjoyable.
it is. It's
I
like
love
right when
it.
you start getting into it and really start getting warmed up, it's like, time to go, you know. So, but that's okay. We'll be back with another episode.
Exactly. Look forward to it.
Sounds good. So, we love you all, and may peace be with you. Until next time.
Let your light shine.
For more information about the NDE World Podcast, visit NDE.world. That's NDE.world.